Fake bronze goods yield 160 million annually. Even rice faces counterfeiting. Woman starves in apartment. Top university grad failed multiple public service exams. Shenzhen Housing Prices Plunge. The safety of BYD electric vehicles sparks discontent. China's odd trends. Tongue dance, air blowing, zombie moves. CCP Marks War Victory. Faces ridicule from both Chinese and Japanese citizens. Yanjian Village, located in Yichuan County, Luoyang, historically known as Yanyunjian, holds a renowned title, the #1 village for imitation ancient Chinese bronzes. It is the largest site for counterfeit bronze production in China, also dubbed the #1 village for fakes. Reportedly, half of the replicas in museums across China originate from this village. Yanjian Village is filled with bronze craft workshops, and almost everyone here is skilled in replicating bronze artifacts. The village has developed a complete industrial chain for bronze replicas. In 2020, the total production value of the village's replicas reached 160 million yuan, meaning that this village of just 3,550 people had a per capita production value of nearly 50,000 yuan. The bronzes made here are almost indistinguishable from genuine ancient artifacts. Over the years, some have passed off these replicas as authentic antiques to make immoral profits. For example, a piece made by an elderly woman in the village was sold for 80,000 yuan after being marketed as a genuine antique. The Shanxi Provincial Institute of Cultural Relics Conservation once evaluated 5 bronze artifacts in the style of the late Western Zhou dynasty. They found that, in terms of shape and decorative patterns, the replicas were highly accurate, making it difficult even for professionals to distinguish between real and fake. However, after performing compositional analysis using X-ray fluorescence (XRF) technology, it was discovered that the lead content was abnormally high, with the highest reaching 76%. Genuine bronze artifacts from the Shang and Zhou dynasties were made of copper, tin, and lead alloys, with the lead content usually not exceeding 20%. XRF is an analytical technique used to determine the elemental composition of various metals, including metal alloys, minerals, and petrochemical products. The results of the test revealed that these 5 supposed Western Zhou bronzes contained glue within the copper patina, had green corrosion under all of the lacquer, and the bronze bodies showed modern grinding marks on the surface. All of these pieces were confirmed to be fakes. China, known for its expertise in counterfeiting, has reached new heights. Now, even rice, a daily staple, is being faked. In the video, the blogger demonstrates pulling the grains of fried rice, which stretch significantly and have an unusual elasticity. The blogger questions, "With this much elasticity, is it even rice anymore?" Netizens lamented, saying, "This is recycled rice. Broken rice is ground into flour, then reprocessed with added technology and ingredients to form new rice grains. For normal rice, the only ingredients is rice, processed through purely physical methods. The development of artificial rice wasn't meant to replace natural rice, but rather to cater to specific needs as a new type of food. It is convenient, easy to store, inexpensive, and can be eaten directly in extreme situations. However, due to its lower nutritional value and inferior taste, artificial rice is not intended for regular consumption, except in extreme circumstances." In China, anything can take on a different twist. Counterfeit artificial rice may contain added starch, glue, and other additives, posing potential health risks. If antiques are faked, and even food is faked, it goes without saying that other products are too. A woman shared her experience on social media, revealing that 2 years ago, she had bought a purple pearl pendant for 399 yuan from a live stream on Douyin. Recently, she took it out for a look and noticed the surface was wrinkled. When she scratched it with her fingernail, the entire pearl peeled off, revealing it was a fake. The woman expressed her frustration, warning others to be cautious while shopping online. A 33-year-old woman was found dead from starvation in a rented apartment in Xi'an, Shanxi. She had graduated from a prestigious 211 university in Beijing and had taken several civil service exams, but despite ranking first in the written tests, she was never hired. On August 16th, someone shared a post online about this incident, which quickly went viral. The woman had left her impoverished rural hometown in Ningxia to find work in Xi'an in April of this year. In early June, she was discovered dead in her rented apartment, having passed away about 20 days earlier. It's said that before her death, she had blocked all contact with her family. The landlord of the apartment wrote a long post documenting the situation. According to the landlord, the police informed him that the woman's family was very poor, and based on her consumption records, she had spent less than 5 yuan on food and other essentials, buying the cheapest items just to get by. The last time her face was recognized by the building's security system was around May 20th. After that, neither the surveillance footage nor the building's entry system showed any signs of her leaving the apartment. During this time, she didn't order any food delivery, there were no signs of cooking in her apartment, and her phone records indicated she hadn't spoken to anyone. It appears she died in extreme loneliness. This article has been widely shared across the internet, and currently the Chinese government is actively censoring and deleting related posts. In recent years, there have been frequent reports on Chinese social media about university graduates starving to death. On September 18, 2023, Chinese media outlet NetEase reported that a 24-year-old graduate student from Xi'an Jiaotong University died from a brain hemorrhage caused by long-term malnutrition. After his death, police found 5 bank cards among his belongings, with a total balance of only 22 yuan. Additionally, a handwritten note was found saying, "No matter how many difficulties lie ahead, I will not give up. I want to contribute to science for my parents, my hometown, and my country." This graduate student's name was Niu Zhongnan, and he came from an extremely poor rural area. Sadly, he never understood, even until his death, why his country did not give him the opportunity to become a scientist. On March 9, 2023, a social media user reported that someone had starved to death in Dongguan Shipai, and another person had fainted from hunger in Xiaotou. The user advised people not to quit their jobs unless they had plenty of money saved up. Currently, wages have been pushed down 13 or 14 yuan per hour, and even 15 yuan per hour is rare, let alone 16 or 17. With so many people looking for work this year, if you don't do the job, someone else will. This year is particularly bleak. Some factories have closed down, and others are no longer hiring. Additionally, staying in hotels costs at least 40 yuan per night, and daily expenses for food and lodging can range from dozens to hundreds of yuan. For those who haven't found a job yet, the user suggests they should go home while they still have enough money for travel. The tragic reality is that while Chinese citizens are starving, the Chinese government is generously providing free lunches to children in other countries. On June 21st, Chinese state media Xinhua reported that the United Nations World Food Program celebrated the official launch of China's school lunch donation project at a primary school in Uganda. China is providing year-long school lunches to 165,000 children in 315 schools in that region. It is reported that the China Foundation for Poverty Alleviation has launched a free breakfast program for elementary school students in 14 countries. As of 2022, the International Love Parcel Project has covered Nepal, Myanmar, Ethiopia, Cambodia, Laos, Pakistan, Mongolia, Namibia, Uganda, Zimbabwe, the Philippines, South Sudan, Burundi, and Djibouti, benefiting more than 1 million primary school students. Some netizens sarcastically remarked that China, as a responsible major country, has made its due contributions to solving global hunger through initiatives like the Love Parcel Project and the Smiling Children Project. These efforts demonstrate the country's leadership in addressing the poverty issues in developing and underdeveloped nations. However, they also hope that the Foundation for Poverty Alleviation will pay more attention to the children in impoverished areas within China, ensuring that those who rely on eating potatoes for every meal can also enjoy free nutritious breakfasts and lunches. Feeding the hungry in other countries while letting the people of its own country starve highlights the ironies under Chinese Communist Party rule. In China, some people receive tens of thousands in retirement pensions every month, while others survive on just a few dozen yuan in pension payments each month, relying on scavenging even in their old age. Netizens have remarked that the forever great, glorious, and correct party acts lavishly abroad while ruthlessly squeezing its people at home, with no regard for their survival. The current CCP leader, Xi Jinping, has been mockingly nicknamed Big Spender by netizens. So, how much money has been spent during his leadership? Recent media reports revealed that China has secretly provided a staggering 32.8 billion US dollars in emergency loans to countries facing financial crises. In a November 2023 report, Deutsche Welle mentioned that aid data, a data analysis center based in Virginia, found that from 2000 to 2021, Chinese financial institutions provided a total of 1.34 trillion US dollars in aid to developing countries. The think tank also discovered that China's foreign aid spending was primarily directed towards emergency relief rather than investments in large infrastructure projects. The report stated that Aid Data's latest report, released on November 6, 2023, indicated that China's foreign aid peaked in 2016 when it committed a total of 136 billion US dollars in foreign aid loans. By 2021, this amount had dropped to 80 billion US dollars. Aid Data's records covered nearly 21,000 related projects across 165 low and middle income countries. Since 2015, the proportion of loans from China's policy banks has gradually declined, reaching only 22% by 2021. At the same time, the proportion of foreign aid loans provided by the People's Bank of China and the State Administration of Foreign Exchange has steadily increased, surpassing 50% after 2020. The vast majority of these loans are for emergency relief. In August 2022, Chinese State Councilor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi announced the cancellation of 23 interest-free loans owed by 17 African countries. The total amount involved was not disclosed. However, this news sparked discontent among Chinese netizens. Some sarcastically remarked, "Did the mortgage slaves and credit card debtors agree to this?" While the debts of African brothers are forgiven with a wave of the hand, domestically, citizens dealing with unfinished buildings and halted mortgage payments face relentless collection efforts backed by an iron fist. On August 17th, in a residential complex in Shenzhen, a homeowner was seen straddling the window of their apartment, claiming that their property had quality issues. They also complained that while the price was previously 40,000 yuan per square meter, it had now dropped to 25,000 yuan per square meter, causing them significant losses. The owner demanded a refund, threatening to jump from the window if the demand was not met. Netizens commented sarcastically, suggesting that the owner should sell the property quickly while it's still worth 25,000 yuan per square meter, adding, "Even if you jump, no one will care." Homeowners in Shenzhen dream of returning to the 2021 property price levels, but the once glorious real estate market in Shenzhen is no longer what it used to be. It has truly collapsed. In 2021, property prices in Shenzhen's Nanshan district reached as high as 120,000 yuan per square meter, while even Bao'an district saw prices of 82,000 yuan per square meter, and Longhua district reached 77,000 yuan per square meter. At that time, Nanshan district's property prices were higher than those in Beijing's Xicheng district and Shanghai's Huangpu district. Shenzhen is not alone in this decline. Housing prices in other major cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Nanjing, and Wuhan are also continuously dropping. On August 16th, a large group of homeowners gathered in Wuhan's Yunshang city, demanding refunds for their homes. The reason? Property prices have been slashed in half since the initial sales. China's real estate crisis is becoming increasingly dire, with a widespread consensus that housing prices have yet to hit rock bottom. According to a report by Tencent Finance's Economy Experts Talk, on July 2nd, Peking University economics professor Yao Yang stated during an interview at the Summer Davos Forum that due to insufficient capital injections from the central government, China's housing prices will continue to decline. Based on overseas experiences, prices need to drop by another 40% before the market can correct itself. Earlier this year, Yao Yang commented that the pace of adjustments in the real estate sector had been too slow and that housing prices should have fallen long ago. Yao further noted that the rapid growth phase of China's real estate industry is over, and that China's economy is now looking for new growth drivers. He predicted that new policies will emerge in the real estate sector in the second half of the year, but they are unlikely to be the significant measures that people are hoping for. Since last year, the Chinese government has implemented several real estate policies in an attempt to revive the housing market, but the results have been minimal. Yao Yang pointed out that while sales might surge one or two times, the day after a policy is announced, the effect usually fades within a week. Yao's views have sparked widespread debate among the public. Some people have said, for example, in Shenzhen, based on the per capita income published by the city government, housing prices should be around 20,000 yuan per square meter, but they have now exceeded 50,000 yuan. A 40% drop nationwide would be a normal level. Considering income levels, economic growth rates in various regions, price levels, and currency value, a 50 to 60% drop would be more reasonable. When my salary increased by 10%, housing prices shot up by 50%. Now that housing prices have fallen by 10%, my income has dropped by 50. In June, data on second-hand housing sales in China highlighted the severe crisis in the real estate market. According to data from the China Index Academy, the average price of second-hand residential properties across 100 cities in June was 14,762 yuan per square meter, a month-on-month decline of 0.73%, with the decline expanding by 0.03 percentage points compared to May. Prices have been falling for 26 consecutive months. Year-on-year, prices were down 6.25%. For the first half of the year, the cumulative decline in second-hand home prices across the 100 cities was 3.61%, an increase of 0.87 percentage points compared to the decline in the second half of last year. It is noteworthy that in June, the number of cities where second-hand housing prices fell reached 100. For 13 consecutive months, more than 90 cities have seen declines in second-hand home prices. Homeowners are devastated as house prices continue to drop without respite, leading to widespread protests. Similarly, as the prices of large consumer items like cars have been aggressively driven down, numerous quality issues have emerged, causing car owners to take various actions to protect their rights. On August 17th, a netizen reported that owners of BYD's Fangchengbao in Xi'an, Shanxi, were protesting due to vehicle quality problems. The video shows a long line of cars involved in the protest, each with signs displaying the specific issues experienced by the owners, such as faulty brakes, exposed fuel lines, design flaws, sudden loss of power at high speeds, loud noise from the air conditioning compressor, the assisted driving system veering off course at high speeds, strange noises from the car doors, and more. Some cars even had "I want to return this car" written on them. On August 1st, 2024, on a forum on AutoHome, more than 20,000 owners of the Leopard 5 vehicle compiled a list of 52 different problems with the car, many of which were serious safety concerns. The most significant issue reported was sudden power loss at high speeds, followed by the assisted driving system malfunctions, such as veering at high speeds and auto parking incidents where the car crashes into walls. A car owner who spent 300,000 yuan on a Xiaomi electric vehicle encountered endless problems. When seeking after-sales service, they were blamed for causing the damage themselves. The owner lashed out, accusing Xiaomi of exploiting consumers, saying they wasted their money and were treated like fools. Netizens commented that this incident once again exposes the quality myth of Chinese manufacturing. Under the CCP's propaganda, domestic brands like BYD are hailed as national pride, but in reality, these claims are repeatedly proven wrong. When consumers find that the national pride they worked hard to purchase is riddled with issues, their attempts to defend their rights are often treated as interference from hostile forces. When the CCP loudly promotes independent brands, it allows companies to profiteer unchecked. Houses are being protested, cars are being protested, and even former officials within the system are doing the protesting. On August 18th, in Jieshou, Anhui, the former head of the Chengdong police station in Jieshou publicly reported that he had been wrongfully imprisoned for 2 years. He claims this happened because he refused to collude with the wealthiest man in Jieshou and the deputy secretary of the city's party committee. Netizens remarked that this is just infighting caused by unequal distribution of spoils. They added that there are no innocent people within the system, especially those who reach a high rank like station chief, as it's impossible to reach such high positions without being corrupt. It has now become a unique characteristic of China for people to hold up their ID cards and report issues publicly on camera, especially this year with a significant increase in such cases. Even people within the system have started reporting. These former beneficiaries or enforcers of the CCP are the ones most aware of the darkness in the country. They know that China's legal system is nothing more than a facade, so they hope that by creating a public outcry through real name reporting on camera, They can force a fair legal process, but this approach is overly naive. Has anyone ever seen a real name report lead to a legal outcome with a satisfactory conclusion? Real name reporting has essentially become a personal performance in front of the camera. People think it's useful as a last resort, but in reality, they're holding on to nothing but false hope. In the past, people believed in petitioning. Now they believe in real name reporting. But once they realize that real name reporting is also ineffective, what will be left to believe in? The CCP's meat grinder drags everyone in, whether military, police, or security forces. Tongue-out dance, mouth-blowing, zombie moves, strange behaviors of Chinese people. In the video, a group of elderly women are rolling their eyes, sticking out their tongues, waving their hands wildly, and shouting strange noises. It's said that this is a popular fitness dance in China called tongue-out fitness dance. The video shows a group of elderly women from Chengdu. One witness said they do this every day, and the sounds they make are really creepy, like zombies from a movie. On the subway, it seems like these two old men had a disagreement, but instead of talking, they just blow air at each other. People online are calling it mouth cannon. Nowadays, many Chinese people not only lack public manners and empathy, but also engage in bizarre and laughable behaviors that are hard to understand. This is a group of high school students in China. Can you guess what they're doing? Some people online have offered this explanation. This is a training to eliminate students' sense of self-protection and cultivate a habit of absolute obedience. The kids educated through this method end up only excelling in studies and nothing else. It's fascist training. They claim it's meant to enhance team coordination, but in reality, it's an exercise where if one person makes a mistake, everyone falls down. It's something purely invented by bureaucrats. The Heng Shui-styled running drills are designed to break down individual boundaries and safety, forcing absolute obedience. The Heng Shui model, also known as the Heng Shui phenomenon, was created by Heng Shui High School in Hebei Province, China. It's a test-oriented education system tailored to the current college entrance exam system in China. Under this model, schools are described as college entrance exam factories, and students are likened to machines that never stop running. In this atmosphere of relentless test preparation and endless drills, students lose creativity. Though controversial, this model is widely pursued because of its exceptionally high admission rates compared to regular schools. On August 15th, some tourists were seen waving the Chinese flag at a tourist site to commemorate the 79th anniversary of Japan's surrender. However, netizens quickly pointed out, "You're holding the wrong flag. In 1945, it was still the Republic of China." The Chinese embassy in Japan also posted on social media, commemorating the 79th anniversary of the victory of the War of Resistance against Japan, but it was met with mockery from both Chinese and Japanese netizens. On August 15th, the Chinese embassy in Japan posted, "On this day 79 years ago, on August 15th, 1945, Japan accepted the Potsdam Proclamation, unconditionally surrendering. On this day, which we must never forget, let us pay tribute to the brave ancestors who fought tirelessly. We must remember history and continue to grow and strengthen." A Japanese netizen familiar with the story commented, "In fact, the Communist Party should thank Japan because it was fighting against the Kuomintang, the Communist Party's enemy." Chinese netizens responded, "That's absolutely right. Without the Japanese, there would be no Communist Party of China." Netizens even shared a famous quote from former CCP leader Mao Zedong. "Why should we thank the Japanese Imperial Army? Because when they came, we fought them, which led to cooperation with Chiang Kai-shek. With 25,000 troops, we fought for 8 years, and in the end, we grew to 1.2 million troops, with a base of 100 million people. So, do you think we should be thankful?" According to Chinese records, Mao Zedong publicly thanked Japan for its invasion of China at least 6 times. In 1972, during a meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister Kakue Tanaka, Mao directly expressed gratitude for Japan's aggression, saying, "If you hadn't launched the war of aggression against China, how could our Communist Party have grown stronger? How could we have seized power? How could we have defeated Chiang Kai-shek?" As a result, Mao refused war reparations from Japan and even declined an apology, insisting that the Japanese military had been meritorious. Netizens mocked this by saying, "How can the nationalist Little Pinks cope with this?" They added that the tragedy of the Little Pinks, the nickname for nationalist internet users, lies precisely in this ignorance. They are unaware of the true history. or their minds have been completely altered by the brainwashing that they received from childhood. Even when confronted with the truth, they choose to ignore it. Chinese people who have been influenced by CCP propaganda continue to express their patriotic feelings around the world. On August 15th, a video was posted on social media showing the words "Long Live China" carved into a tree trunk at the National University of Singapore. From making a scene at the Yasukuni Shrine to pressuring Taiwanese companies to display the Chinese flag, these little pinks have repeatedly found themselves at the center of online controversies. One netizen remarked that Chinese little pinks have become a cancer in the civilized world.